This channel supports Extra Life in its efforts to raise money for the Children's Miracle Network. For more information about how to donate and join in their efforts, go to the link displayed here. Extra Life. Play games, heal kids. What up, everybody? This your boy Black Magus, and I'm going to talk about the second episode of Powers. No face cam this time. Just going to do these like I do all my other TV show reviews. First episode, I was just sitting, at my desk. I just cut a video with the camera, so I decided to use it. But I turned it off, and now I'm going back to the traditional way. Anyway, that's not, what's the point of this video? The point is to talk about the second episode where got a little more traction in the show. Got to see a little bit more character interplay, some development in some relationships, and some interesting threads to the plot. Now, episode, of course, the whole big deal right now is that a superhero named Olympia was killed after ingesting a drug that exploded his heart. So they're trying to figure out who gave him the drug, where the drug come from, and what's going on, if this was a setup or not. Of course, Detective Walker feels like it's tied into an old friend of his who's supposed to be dead, who is Johnny Royale, one of the antagonists of the show, who is quite alive and is stirring up all kind of trouble by producing this drug. So Walker's really not he's not off on his presumptions at all. He just doesn't see the angle yet and doesn't understand, which I don't think any of us understand what's Johnny Royale's angle at this point. But he seems to have sort of a dual purpose. It's like on one end he's peddling this drug to all these different young superpowers. At the same time, he seems to be wanting to harbor them, protect them, help, people who are in the situation that him and Diamond were in when they were kids, coming into now, trying to find their place, in the world and develop their powers and whatnot. He's really bent on creating a home for them, and that makes me think that he's trying to build an army. And this drug is one way in which he's kind of controlling his army. But that's just my speculation. Anyway, we'll see what's going to happen. So, throughout the show, one of the main purposes was finding that little girl, Callista, who was with Olympia at the time of his death, and try to figure things out. Now, at the end of the pilot episode, she jumped off a building trying to awaken her powers because she really wants to be a power. She thinks she has powers, so she thought that was what was going to help her, because Diamond had told her a story about that's how he found out his powers. He accidentally fell and he saved himself by imagining that he could fly away, and he just swooped through the air and saved himself. So she tried to relive that. Diamond went after her, and of course he doesn't have powers anymore, so it was up to Retro Girl to show up at the end to save them. She took the girl away and was speaking to the girl during this episode, trying to figure out what's going on with the situation, why she was at the top of the building and things like that. Diamond was trying to get in touch with the girl, so he called Retro Girl because he knew she had her. And there's where you start to see some of the interaction between characters, get a little brief glimpse of the history that they had together. They were an item, apparently, and they still seem to have some type of affinity for each other, because he was calling her, trying to make sure that she realized that, hey, I'm not calling you to try to talk to you. I'm just trying to do this because, professionally speaking, I need to do it. Knowing that, pretty much exposing that, he still has feelings for her. And it was funny, too, because at the end of the show, she kind of did the same thing to him. So you can tell that they have, there's probably going to be something, with that chemistry going on throughout the show. Dina got her first taste of what it's really like to be on the Powers Division when she went to go serve a warrant at the beginning with a couple of people. And she rushed right in, almost got killed, of course, because this guy was spitting lightning all over the place. And, they eventually put him down, but you got to see a taste of some of the things that they did. They introduced some more story elements to the family of Walker's dead partner. Kid's not dealing with his father's death well. Of course, he's getting really, really angry. You kind of saw a glimpse of it in the pilot where he was kind of upset about Powers in general. And he made a comment about, like, you need to kill more Powers. He was playing a video game trying to kill Powers. He's just, you could see where they're going with that. Like, this kid's going to try to do something really, really stupid coming up. Also, you saw him, like, kind of have this thing for some girl he was playing video games with. By the way, glad I mentioned the video games today. So, one of the funniest things about shows like this, and I'm curious because the only Microsoft things that I can recall ever seeing were the Halo Unto Dawn series. I know they have the Nightfall series, but I doubt they were able to do much product placement in that. Just like in the Halo one, not really much product placement. I didn't see, like, no futuristic Microsoft logo anywhere, or if, a Surface pop up on screen or something like that. Whereas with Powers, you saw a lot of Sony properties all over the place. You see the kid wearing a pair of the Sony, the white gold headsets. He has a controller in his hand that clearly looks like a PS4 controller, a white one, and he's playing a game that it wasn't infamous Second Son, but you could clearly see some of the elements from that game. You can see, like, they took the property, they changed it up just a little bit, the character model and all of that. But you see the goddamn bombs from if you've ever played Infamous Second Son, you can load up these, I forget exactly what they call it, but, on top of your superpowers, you can load up these, fill up these 3 meters that will let you, if you get them totally full, when you let it go, you can do, like, this super crazy move, like with the smoke one. The shot that you saw in the trailers for Infamous Second Son, where you see him shoot up in the air like a rocket, and then, like, as soon as he gets to the top, he, like, falls back down, and it just, like, hits the ground and sets off a huge explosion. That's what those things are for. There's a couple of other things that they do, like there's one that, if second stage is like a missile type of thing, you know what I mean, if you play the game. So you could see that in the game itself. But of course, they made it as if it wasn't on a PlayStation 4, because when you see the girl pop up in the chat, it looked nothing like that. It was like a window inside of the TV, which happens to be a Sony Bravia. Fancy that. And then you saw one part where you saw a bunch of people in a cafe using Vios, which I thought was hilarious, since Sony doesn't own that property really anymore. Do you? Nah, y'all don't make those anymore. But anyway, moving forward with the story. So we saw Johnny Royale kind of make himself, pretty much he outed himself in this episode by coming into the police station, signing some paperwork to register himself, and kind of setting up Walker, where, of course, Walker finding him there, he's not too thrilled, because they used to be former friends. They used to be, like, proteges of Wolf, who, apparently had 8 Johnny Royale, and Diamond took Wolf down, because he ate so many people, killed so many of their friends, including Wolf, including Royale, who, after apparently Royale had broken Wolf out, that's when all the killings happened. So a lot of animosity there, and you saw Walker react by choking the shit out of Royale, and of course Royale videotapes it. He goes and does an interview with some reporter, which is funny because you can tell she was trying to be this hard-hitting reporter. Personally, I felt like it was, scripted a little too much, but that's neither here nor there. And then they showed the video of Walker choking out Royale. So that helps Royale's image for whatever he wants to do. It puts him in the limelight. It puts him in a positive position with the media. All the young kids who want to be powers and the young kids who got powers are going to flock to them. So that helped with this plan. You also got a moment of bonding between Deanna and Walker, which was pretty cool. Overall, it was a much more solid episode. I did like it. Now I'm curious to see what's going to happen in episode 3. So far, it's a decent series. I can't lie. I mean, again, I'm not saying it's spectacular, but it's just starting. It's just growing. So we're going to, I think putting out these 3 episodes helps, give people enough time to digest enough of it to see if this has a plot and characters that are interested enough. I think the characters, their backgrounds, they have enough interest, at least with Walker, Retro Girl, Royale so far. Those 3 elements, I think they're intriguing enough. There's the intrigue of finding out where this girl is going to fit into things, stuff like that. What's Royale's plan? Walker's development, stuff like that. We still haven't really gotten much on Wolf, so I'm sure he's going to be thrown into the mix. And there's probably some more people who are going to come up as time goes on, and we'll start to get things will eventually flesh out a little bit more. But yep, 3rd episode, we'll see where that goes. Anyway, as always, you guys hit me up, let me know what you think, and I'll holler at you later. This your boy Black Makers, and I'm out. Deuces.